trees, they grow in their own way. The birds do their own way from the beginning of the universe. The rivers keep on flowing. They follow their own wave. We humans, we never follow our own ways.
The human beings are capable of solving any problem. That is what our scientific evidence so far tells us. But greed is our problem. We don't share our knowledge. We don't give out our technologies unless we are paid for that.
Whether it's in politics, whether it's in religion, whether in culture, I think greed is one of the most thing which is hindering the process of achieving a sustainable world.
You have a car, and why don't I have a car? If he owns a house, why don't I own a house? He's expanding his business, why don't I expand my business? That's the greed. So it is very difficult to tackle that problem, but at least making people aware that, you're for our greediness, the world may come to an end, one day or the other way.
Can we afford to be honest? Eat honest beef, eat honest pork. These are the things which will give answer to many, many problems.
People are not even aware of what climate change means, and yet lots is happening in the northern hemisphere. Taking an action on the creating of awareness first, so that people would know what is happening, and then they will take action by tomorrow for themselves.
Without people's participation, nothing ever works. If you empower them to decide, then they can really do a lot. A lot can actually be achieved.
Half of the world's farmers are now non-literate. They are feeding the planet because they have got the wisdom from their parents and grandparents. Now, the rate at which climate change is taking place, shortage of water, in the increase of temperature, so they won't be able to adjust, and there will be a knowledge gap which will threaten productivity of the future. So it is in our own interest that we bring all the people up.
The people they look at development infrastructure, road, water supply, and then where they are employed, they get job, they get lots of money, they get mobile phones from the youth point of view, you see. They want to imitate, everything must be Western, in the dress, in the looks, but we miss something different.
Have a more sustainable world, we wouldn't have this big issue of rural and urban migration. Because if there's better schools, then why would people from the rural areas need to come out?
And one of the fundamental issues that I have come to realize that there cannot be sustainable development in the planet without alleviation of poverty.
The systems we have are not fair. They include few and exclude the majority. This is one thing. And the very concept of sustainability itself, for me, is it has inherent complexity within. Like it says, you have to feed the current generation without compromising the needs of the coming generation. How come? That's a big question. When you say it seems very simple, but when it comes to practical terms, within the already unfair system, within an already unjust system, how could you tell people to care for the coming generation while they are living dehumanized, less than what their human dignity requires?
I believe if we're able to curb the population of humans, I think the pressure on the world will be much more lesser. I think there has to be a concrete effort by the governments and also religious institutions.
If you have a small number of family, you can give them proper education, proper food, proper health, everything.
Before, people were managing within their own villages and regions, and we didn't have to export and import food, and we lived happily and healthily, no? probably their programs are focusing so much on economic activities, and people are chasing after wealth, instead of only looking into the pursuit of having just enough and not so much more.
My belief is that the care for the people is actually to show them that they should believe in themselves, that they should not wait for a gift from Germany or from the United States, but they should be taught how to make their living comfortable by themselves.
If you have a chance, or if you've had a chance of being educated and also have more skills, you have to use that to educate other people as well. What we need to do is to unite. Those who have more must share something with other people. And if we don't share the resources of this world, we are not going anywhere. One day we'll be burned down by the sun.
Kaba kalong kajing perkat kaba kam kong san hanga kalong ba ngim shania than hakini kijing bam kiba mi na ki wei pat ki jela nrai kajing perkat jonga kalong ba kajing kong san kalong man ngin im hina kane ka than ki jongi ki bangi rep hi dala ki jong mo kijing bam kiba mi na kane hi
hakabaya dei bat ka ban penne pensa ya kamai mariang ngi kum kilong kame ngisngeu ba kum ki khon wat laki dan ya kerdan jong kajing nang jing staru nrai kinam klet na kan ya kata kajing ya kata ketenrai ka ba mengikik mekik pa ngejudan hakaba rep bariang hakabat rei bakta ya kikam la jong wat laki layo ya kikam ki jam na ki weipat moki of his bapher hanrai bakin pekin ba ka rep karyang kan amdo na ya kawan ka nem sneu ka ba maki kin ru kin hap an phai biang shala ka snong ka thau nei shala ki jong ki jaka ban wan pan kan mau bat ban trei ban ta rengkat bat kinong rep.
The future generation, my children, look, I've got a child myself, so like in fact, but how can you have a bright future in a world like this where you have so many problems everywhere, talking in terms of pollution, talking in terms of population explosion. Everything is out of control. Who's to blame? In fact, it's us, it's us, and our generation, in fact, right now needs to act immediately.
Kiklong kena hadu la temet garang ba kata kada jentri lang jong paj ba he ma klem jentri lang jong paj ba na do barit hadu ba he wasan kinam la blai wan ra ni ka thong pat pen kala pen wan biang ye ka jolong jong ba miram e go jongi kuma kalong man siwa.
We have conferences, yes, but do we really involve community leaders, whether we are scientists or what? There are people who are really respected by the grassroots people. They are the people who can help us take action. It is not us in the offices, us in the universities that will bring change. We still need to say, out of 10 of us, do we have one such leader? People choose their own leaders. They've got people they accept. Do we really have them when we are sitting down so that we can effect change? This is the biggest issue.
Na gitu kibri keburan siakendong ba jong kesor ba jong di keperthai kin sim ni kesur kat kum ka jonglong culture jong gitu kibri ru
kiding so kiding pai ki bang la persiang bantung ban penne ya ka basadin hoi menta ngam yo ai ban khet yo tau so bang atung menta ndrei ngakan men ban bakapateng ka basadin kan yo ban khet yo so uba hadin bang la tung menta.
Of course, we are expanding industrialization, but at the cost of the one who's living at a grassroots level. So whenever we do something for ourselves, think of others which would be affected by your actions. That's my message. Whenever we are getting more richer and richer, the poor are getting poorer and poorer. So let's think of the others at the cost of our interests.
As human beings, we depend to a great extent on something which life offers freely, like mutual support, affection, generosity, And so if the world starts thinking on that line, also that is also something we should we should pay attention to.
So what I'm asking these people to stand in solidarity. If you have the skills, please share it. If you have the knowledge, please again share it. If you have, of course, the resources, please again share it. Sharing, caring, is what makes us human.